guys, my name is Morgan and today I kind of just wanted to go over eyeshadow palettes that are perfect for spring. I think I did do a sort of video last year like this where it was like makeup that's perfect for spring, but I figured I could do an updated one. I haven't watched that one either, so honestly there might be some repeats, but I also have gotten more palettes since then, so I guess we'll just see what this updated version is like. I also have not picked out any of these beforehand, so we're just going to be coming up with things as we go. So obviously this palette I think is perfect for spring. This is the Nomad Cosmetics Tokyo Harajuku palette. It looks like this. So it's literally just a bunch of pastels. These are mattes and satins, but I honestly use them both as satin matte shades. Like I use them for the same sort of function. And then this whole row here is like multi-chrome shimmer glittery shades. So it's absolutely beautiful. Every time I wear this look, I get a very soft, beautiful look. Obviously because it's pastels, but I get like a very springy look here. Like it's literally, this is like Easter to me. Like I think of Easter when I see this palette. The next palette that I think has spring vibes would be this Rose Quartz palette from Huda Beauty. It looks like this, and basically it's just the tones of it, like a lot of pinks and like light purples and kind of like airy neutral colors. Like I don't know, it's really pretty and I think it definitely could be used for spring, especially if you stick to like the pink colors. And then just like even the outer packaging, like definitely spring vibes for sure. This one actually seems counterintuitive because this is the Pumpkin Spice palette by Too Faced, which obviously is fall, but if you open it up, these like purple shades and then even like the light greens or whatever are definitely springy vibes to me. Like if you stick more to like this side of the palette, like cover up this, isn't that like spring? So definitely I think you could definitely do like a really light springy look with this pumpkin spice if you stick to that side like I just mentioned. The Too Faced Born This Way, what's this even called? The Natural Nudes. I think this could also be a spring palette. I mean, it's just a neutral palette, but honestly, like as I said before, sticking to these lighter tones, like the rosy tones in the middle especially, like right here, these definitely remind me of spring. I think you could do like a really light dainty look, like you're gonna go look for Easter eggs or something. I don't know. What do people do in the spring? I think they might be discontinuing this because I know BH was bought by Makeup Revolution. I don't really know what's gonna happen with these, to be honest. But this is the BH Cosmetics Lost in Los Angeles palette. I feel like this is a good palette for spring because of all like the bright colors. I haven't used this too much just because I kind of get a little bit confused with like color story wise, because I'm usually end up trying to do something monochromatic and there's really not too many like shades that are monochromatic. Like there's not like two greens in here or whatnot, so it's a little bit rough for me to try to use this, but I still think it's pretty nonetheless. This is the Menagerie Cosmetics Pastel Pup palette, and I feel like I don't need to repeat myself anymore, but it's a pastel palette, so obviously it's gonna be good for spring. I do kind of wish that there was like more like shimmer shades there, like that's the only one, but it's still good quality and I do like this palette. So I just don't use it too often because as I said, like there's one of each shade, which kind of is like the purpose of it obviously, but it's also like I have to think about what I'm gonna do first, which I don't know, do people usually think about what they're gonna do before they do their makeup? I honestly just am like, I want to do like this purple color today, and then I just start like going. So this one kind of, for me at least, requires a lot more like pre-planning of like, what am I going to do? Like at the end, like how is this gonna look? So a little bit harder to work with, but like not the formula wise, it's just like my mind doesn't want to come up with ideas. Next up we have the ColourPop and the Mandalorian, or this is the child palette actually. He's so cute. And while this is mostly a green palette, I think this is a good green palette for the spring just because of the tones of the green, because it's like sagey minty greens. So you can make a really soft look with these greens, especially with that baby face in the middle. That's like the nicest sage green ever. And then that right hand Mando up there. It's almost like one of those shades that could be like a silvery champagne, but it's got like the slightest tinge of green. So it's like, I love using those two shades together. It's beautiful. I love this palette, and I honestly forgot that I had it until like recently. I was like, oh my god, this is the In a Trance palette by Colourpop. It looks like this. I think it was part of like a tie-dye collection or something, but I really like this, and it makes like the prettiest looks ever. And this is definitely spring. Like, it's like very like almost like galaxy vibes. Like, I don't know if anyone knows what the bisexual flag looks like, but there's definitely these colors, and I just think this is absolutely beautiful. So perfect for spring, like soft looks with these colors. I've talked about this palette so many times. This is the Flutter palette by Colourpop. I don't even know if it's because of the like the shades in the palette. It's probably just the packaging, honestly, because butterflies everywhere, but definitely love this. My favorite colors are mauves. Beautiful. I don't know why I was so aggressive with that. It's like, beautiful. And then last but not least, I think the Juvia's Place Deuce palette would definitely bring it a spring palette. Just look at it. I don't even think I have to explain this. Like, look at the shades in the middle. Like, that mint, that color is pretty springy. That one, like, I don't know, I just feel like this is definitely a perfect spring palette also. Like, this is the spring palette from Juvia's Place, which I don't know if they sell this or not still. I've heard mixed things about this too. Some people will absolutely hate this palette just because it's like complicated, I guess, and then other people love this palette. So I honestly really like this palette, but I forget I have Juvia's Place palettes sometimes, but it is what it is, I guess. Alright, well, that is all of the palettes that I think would be perfect for springtime. If you have any more palettes that you think would be perfect for spring that I didn't mention, I probably don't own it, but I would love to hear kind of your thoughts. Obviously, we can wear whatever colors we want at any point of the year. Like, that's not what I'm trying to say, obviously, but I like to be kind of festive and like seasonal with things. So it is kind of fun to pull out this palette. So I'm like, oh, it's spring. Let me get out my little pastel palette, you know? So yeah, just let me know if any others come to your head when you're watching this video or when you saw the title or whatnot. And I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys!